Yeah.
No, these would be successful
Oh
hobby
God!
shop.
Look at that thing.
Successful hobby shop owner is perfect.
Exactly. Yeah.
Successful hobby shop owner is hilarious. That's a hilarious description. Wow, what a gross piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
That thing's awful. That thing's awful.
Yeah, but the
They have
dude,
a cult following.
the shop that's building it and the customer, they've got a vision. They're going to take that and modernize and do a bunch of crazy cool shit. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I can
that's
see that. I've seen people do stuff like that with like Ford F40s. You know,
yeah.
I've seen them do stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. You know, like mod them and wide body them, and that car's tiny. That's a tiny little car.
On which car?
The Ford, the original Ford GT, the original one, not the
Yeah.
2005 one. What is it called? Not F40. What is it called?
GT40.
GT40.
Yeah, that's
GT40.
That's a sick car.
Sick
man.
car. But a lot of people have done things to those, like taken them and like extremely modded them
Yeah.
and put twin turbo engines in them and wide bodied them and shit. It's just like, wow.
Yeah. Well, Suit Performance brought those back, so they made it available because you could get like an
Yeah,
exact
they'll-
reproduction of that car.
Oh, really?
They're starting with kit cars
Yeah.
to do that. The original ones are worth millions. So
Who does that?
Suit Performance. They do a ton of them. Man.
Sue? S-U-E?
Yeah, S-U-P-E-R. Super.
Oh, Super Performance.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do a lot of the Cobras and stuff, and
They're fucking bad.
it's a nicely built piece. But that's a car you don't need that kind of power in. I mean, that thing's like this big.
Yeah,
you know?
they're so tiny.
Right.
That's why it's crazy that people are putting like twin turbocharged 1,000 horsepower engines in them and shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
That'd be along the lines of the Porsche you're talking about. Just analog is.
Right.
Holy shit, look at that thing.
Yeah, they do a good job.
So they build a brand new one.
It's brand new, built exactly like the original car was built, except the body's not aluminum.
Wow.
It's Shelby licensed. It goes in the register too.
And is it all modern suspension and
It's exact duplicate of what was there.
so it drives like the original car?
Yeah, I think they got like a ZF transaxle in them or something like that, which would be like a Pantera kind of transaxle.
Modernized
horsepower is that?
coilovers and brakes, but yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
So just some suspension
Yeah.
components
Little mild upgrades.
and same horsepower as
They're
You
doing
can-
modern motors.
Yeah, you can put whatever you want in them. But that's a good example. That's like the Porsche example. Like, put the right, like 500 horsepower in that. That thing's gonna be a thrill.
Right.
Just an absolute blast to drive.
Yeah, and if you went too much, it'd probably be unmanageable, right?
Yeah, especially mid-engine like
Yeah.
that. That's, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how mid-engine cars, like like in America, all we have is the Corvette, right?
That's what we've got now. I mean, now you get the Corvette, and you got the new GT,
Right,
which
the
isn't
new GT.
isn't exactly
Yeah,
as
but it's-
mainstream as the C8.
Yeah, and I have the old GT. I have a 2005.
That's a rad car.
Yeah, it's a rad car, but it's like there's only a few of those, right?
Yeah.
That's not like, but as far as production cars, like the Corvette is like the first time America has like made like a mass production car.
Yeah.
You've never gravitated to the newer Vets, have you?
I don't like the automatic. If they had a stick, I'd buy one. They just don't. They don't do that anymore for whatever reason. It's like I just think they're missing out on what's fun about driving a car. It's like Porsche still gets it, Mustang still gets it, but they don't get it when you get up to like the GT500s. That was the old thing about the old GT500. You could only get it in a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had like a 2011 or something like that. It was great.
That was a scary car. I've driven a couple of
It was
those.
fucking great. I loved it.
It was way before trash control or anything like that. That thing was just
It was super squirrely, like around corners and shit. But it was fun. You knew what it would do.
Yeah.
Like you could, but it was also like just a thrill to drive. The rumble. It was very old school muscle car esque, but with like a a new look to it. But it handled like an old. It didn't handle like a great handling car. It had a solid rear axle and just overpowered.
besides
front
the
heavy.
Tesla. What's the fastest car you've owned?
The Tesla's the fastest by far and above all the other ones. It just it buries them all. But I have a 911 GT3 RS from Sharkworks, and that's a 2007. And it has like 518 horsepower. It sounds like a dragon.
Yeah.
That thing's pretty fucking fast, and the handling on the thing is extraordinary. Yeah, it's so good. It handles it's so thrilling. You feel everything in that car, and it's so capable. That was a great car.
Those are good wheelbase, like square, short,
Super
everything.
light.
Yeah, just
Yeah. And you get used to that ass end, that power coming out of that right behind you. It's very intoxicating. It's a totally different feel in the handling, where the balance is of the car.
Isn't that like a when that thing slides out? Isn't it kind of like a narrow window before it's gone?
you just gotta
Yeah, it's tricky for sure. You got to know what you're doing. You know, you can't just stomp on the gas when it's sliding. You know.